Meanwhile, in Tupac news,
The shooting of Tupac Shakur once again underscores the violence that has surrounded this man since he shot the superstar.
4 people pulled up, opened fire. Shakur and Knight.
Tupac Shakur was shot several times in the chest. Shakur was pronounced dead.
MAKAVELI in this Illuminati, all through your body. The blows like a 12-gauge shot. Feel me? It's all political, running from the future, escaping in the fog. Live your life like a hog. Me and my closest road dog. I've been shot and murdered. Can't tell you how it happened word for word, but best believe that niggas gon' get what they deserve.
Only Gab can do it like this.
Yo, YouTube, what up? It's your homie Gab, I'm in the building. And this is MAKAVELI Media. Today, on the Mystery of Vegas Part 4, I want to go inside the BMW with Tupac and Suge Knight. And to do that, I got a homeboy that's deep with the folks over at Death Row. He also deep with the people over at Bad Boy. You know, shout out to Reggie Wright Jr. Shout out to the homie Gene Bill. Today, straight from the D, I got the big homie, my man, RELL from the 313. RELL, what up, homie?
Hey, what up, Big Gab? How everything going?
Oh, man, everything is swell, man. I'm doing this series over here, man, and you the man for the job for this part right here because you know more than most people what was popping inside that BMW that night. And it's some strange stuff, man. Whether what side of the fence you on with this conversation right here, you got to admit that there's some strange things that went on in Vegas. So let's start where I ended the last part.
Okay.
I just chronicled the fight at the MGM, and you know, Pac and Suge and the whole Death Row entourage is leaving. They go back to the hotel rooms. Tupac goes back to where he's at. You know, changes into the green jersey. Shit goes back to where he's at. He changes into whatever he's wearing because they're planning to go to Club 662. You have the Outlaws there. You have Frank Alexander. You got some more members of the entourage. I believe Kadada was there, but Tupac actually told her not to accompany him because he got into an altercation with Orlando Anderson. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. She's back at the hotel.
Okay, and he also told Frank Alexander from Frank's On the Mission not to ride with him. So he's relieving his own security guard at this point, Death Row appointed security, to actually go with the Outlaws.
Correct. You know, because they was driving Kadada's Lexus and you know, Outlaws back then, those guys, they were young, like 16, 17. And neither one of them had driver's license. So, of course, you know, it was Pac's woman's car. So he's going to tell Frank, you drive the car and you drive behind us. Is it a smart idea? No, not at all.
Right, looking back at how things ultimately went. Okay, so Frank is riding with the Outlaws. How many members exactly were there in the caravan of Death Row staff that was out there that night? Do you know how many cars was actually following Tupac and Suge's BMW?
From speaking with Regs, I want to say it was more than 10 or 15 cars, you know, that was in that entourage, following behind, you know, everybody, you know. It was like, what do you say, security, homeboy security, and, you know, Tupac and Suge.
Right, so you got 15 cars, right? I'm just trying to set the scene for everybody. You got 15 cars, led with Pac and Suge in the front. Suge is driving. They're all on their way to 662. They're just out in the night at this time, under the moonlight, right?
Correct.
So, something strange happened on the way there. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Vegas was Suge Knight's second home. Suge actually had a house out in Vegas. Is that correct?
Yes, he did.
So he pretty much knew the town, and, you know, let's be honest, Tupac and Suge basically can't go nowhere at this point without being recognized. It's 1996. Everybody knows who Tupac and Suge is, you know, especially where they're from, being the West Coast, right? Would you agree to that?
No doubt. Everybody knew who Suge, especially Suge. Not even at that time, you know, Tupac was hot. Tupac was a star, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand. Some people say, you know, they didn't see him being a big star. He was just Tupac. You know, Tupac was a major star. You can't take that from him. You gotta look at it.
You
gotta look at it. Tupac was platinum before Death Row. So how can you say that he wasn't a platinum artist? I mean, a superstar when he was platinum. You know, his second album was Strictly for My Nigga. I mean, well, you know, the second album, that was 2 times platinum by itself. Right,
and the fact he was multimedia. He was a movie star and a rap star, right? Plus the controversy that followed him. He was in the news. You know, even if you're not a fan of his movies or a fan of his music, you saw him on your television just from, you know, his legal problems. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm just trying to point out, you know, his popularity. You know what I mean? Because I find it quite ironic that night on the Strip, they were actually stopped and pulled over by a Las Vegas police officer.
Correct.
Now, the reason they claimed they pulled Suge over his car out of this 15-car caravan is because the music was too loud. Now, first of all, it's fight night.
Right.
The Strip is packed, bro.
Most definitely.
It's cars, screeching tires, horns being honked. You got people talking, conversating, walking through traffic. You got just the sound of life going on. How can they, you know, distinguish a sound coming from Suge's vehicle?
I would say he had to have one heck of a sound system. You know, to get the bike police attention. I would say that, you know, it had to be, you know, for them to pull him over, you know, if that was actually the case.
Right, so the police officer pulled Suge and Tupac over, right? And after talking to Suge, they asked Suge to get out the vehicle and to open the trunk of the BMW. Now, this is what I find odd. First of all, through the conversation, I'm sure he identified himself as Suge Knight. I'm sure he had a driver's license, and I'm sure that officer looked over and spotted Tupac Shakur in the passenger seat, right?
All right.
Do you think at this time that officer was aware under any circumstance what took place minutes ago or probably hours ago at this point because they went back and changed their clothes? What happened at the MGM concerning Tupac and Orlando Anderson?
I could say they knew what was going on, but at that time, did they know it was Tupac and Suge involved? I can't answer that. I don't really know if they really knew at that time. You know, I don't know how fast Vegas was back then with getting information out to their bike officers or whoever else. But, you know, I would look at it. You got to look at it. Of course, they would know who Tupac is for shooting 2 off-duty police officers. So no police officer like Tupac.
Exactly. All right, so they stopped this 15-car caravan just to stop the car that had Tupac in. You know what I mean? Right. Which is ironic to me, but, you know, we're going to keep this story going. So they pull him over. They make sure to pop the trunk. Now, that's an odd request, you know.
Right.
But to actually pop your trunk, you know, that's, to me, that's not a random request. I don't know, you know, the things, you know, are things different in different states, different cities, but, you know, the pop your trunk, what do you think they could have been looking for asking Suge Knight to pop the trunk of that BMW?
Well, at that time, Suge was on parole, known felon. Tupac was out on bail, known felon. Tupac is known for carrying firearms. Okay, let's see if they got firearms in his car. Because if they found firearms in that car, Tupac would have went back to prison, and Suge most definitely would have went back to prison for parole violation. And Pac was all on the bond, so, you know, appeal bond, so that could have sent him back to prison.
Right. Okay, so how long do you think they probably kept Tupac and Suge in traffic, talking to him?
Long enough to run their names and find out who they were, to, you know, call them in over the air and, you know, find out, okay, what's going on, do they got any warrants or anything out on them? And, you know, that's just my guess. That's, you know, probably about not even longer than 10, 15 minutes at the most.
Now, here's the most ironic part of the whole evening, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a few traffic lights later and a few minutes later
Right.
that would change the course of hip-hop as we know it today.
True.
For the police present to be that close to the situation, you know, it must have been police on the strip, visibly. You know what I mean? It's a good possibility that Tupac shooters saw them being detained by the police because it was so random, so back-to-back, so, you know, impulsive, the actions that took place right after them being detained. Do you think it's possible that this shooter saw the police actually talking to Tupac and shit?
Anything is possible. They could have.